Welcome back, NoDQ Galaxy, to a brand new edition of the NoDQ review, number 253. I am Virtue.
Okay.
Yes, peace up, Aaron. Walter, nobody in the background, and JJ in the house for this week's elite panel of the NoDQ review. Gentlemen, what's going on? Walter, I'll start with you. What's up?
Nothing much. Doing well. Thanks for having me again. I'm ready to go into it. Try to actually go under an hour. Let's see what we can do. But you do got me and JJ up here, and
That's
you know,
up to
Jade Cardwell.
That's also
Jade
up
Cardwell
to the NoDQ Galaxy too in the super chat. So we'll see how it goes. But stay tuned, Walter. I'll be back to you. JJ, what's up?
Not a whole lot. Good to be here again, 2 weeks in a row. Still a little bit tired from the show that we did last night, going to almost 1 o'clock in the morning again. But I'm ready to talk about this stuff with you guys. Some different opinions, different voices. Let's do it.
We will get to it shortly. Of course, we're going to talk about The Rock. I mean, why not? Aaron, what's going on?
Been busy. It's been a newsworthy week. We've had a lot to discuss over the past few weeks, and we got more tonight. We have several big topics, some potential WrestleMania discussion, and shout out to Mr. Tito. Check out his latest column over on NoDQ.com. He sent in a $5 super chat, but since it's about The Rock and Roman Reigns, we'll talk about that when we get to that topic. Mr. Tito, we will get to your super chat. So thank you again, my friend, and Virtue. I'm ready to get rolling with this. Let's do it.
Let's start, man. And like I said, maybe we can do like a 45, 50-minute show today. But, we'll still cover what needs to be covered. And everybody's been waiting for this return. I mean, we didn't even talk about it because I think nobody wanted to admit that it was going to happen. But guess who's back in WWE? Nia Jax. And it looks like she's going to be feuding with Rhea Ripley. Walter, I'm going to start with you here. The big bonsai drop. You know what that bonsai drop reminded me of? Remember that one? I don't know if you've ever seen it, that Yokozuna did to a jobber that was being disrespectful allegedly to Mr. Fuji backstage. So Yoko squashed his whole weight down onto him, where he let go of the top ropes like he would normally do, and he just splatted. That's exactly what that looked like to poor Rhea Ripley. And I don't know if I don't know if Rhea's go ahead and do that. People will talk about it. But anyway, Nia Jax is back, and she's infamous for being the one that hurts people, that working unsafe, and people don't like her style and this and that. What's your thoughts here of all the people to bring back or bring in? And we're going to talk about somebody else from AEW next, but let's talk about Nia Jax, Walter. Nia Jax is back. Now, what's she most known for, right? Punching Becky, making her bloody, and Becky kind of got over as the man. Whether that was, yay for Nia Jax or Becky just capitalized on a situation. What good can Nia Jax bring, if anything? What's your take?
Yeah. It brings another strong, tall, big opponent for Rhea to beat. I know Nia's just coming back, but I don't think she should be the one to beat Rhea, especially, if you go on one of the articles at NoDQ, there's a rumor that WWE might be going to Australia. So you don't want Rhea to lose the title anytime soon if you're going to go to Australia, because the pop that she's going to get there, whether she's a heel or not, when she goes to Australia, she's going to be getting face reactions no matter what. So I think this is just to keep her busy, but everybody's talking crap about Nia and getting her, but she looked like she hit the gym. She lost weight. I said everybody deserves a second chance. People come back all the time, man. I say let's wait and see. Let her do what she's got to do. I don't understand why everybody's jumping down her throat. You don't see this heat for Rich Holland. He hurt two big people one, Big E. He hurt two people that everybody loves, and I don't hear every week everybody on social media going crazy and saying, why is Rich Holland still being pushed, and why is he they just forgot about it. Why something Nia did years ago keeps being brought up? Leave the girl alone. She's doing something that I can't do. I tried to wrestle before. It's not the easiest thing in the world. So
let me ask you a question: is Nia Jax related to Dwayne Johnson?
Yes.
Okay. He didn't do WrestleMania last year. We've all by now heard the Pat McAfee show and Rock's comments, and we'll talk about that later. Why he didn't do WrestleMania, but maybe it could have happened. But Nia Jax wasn't with the company either. But now she's back, and like Tito pointed out in the chat, same week Rock shows up back on WWE TV. The bloodline, the family bond of the I don't know. I mean, what a coincidence, but like, come on, man. I'm telling you. I don't think they decided Friday that The Rock was going to be on SmackDown. You know what I mean? Not prior Monday. I'm just saying you want to throw, like, and is there any weight to that? What do you think?
Yeah, there's got to be. Look, WWE would never be without the Samoan. I know IU family and all the Samoan families, they're gonna forever be intertwined with WWE. So they got pull. They got major pull. You might as well. It's like they're McMahons without being McMahons. Like they're basically in with the family. So no matter what, they're gonna be in.
And Aaron World Order said she botched the bonsai drop. Now we were talking about that at the beginning. Mm-hmm. Did she do that? Like, did her and Rhea said, "Hey, let's do it this way," so people talk. Or did she really truly botch it? But like, dude, there's a lot of men out there that would love Nia Jax to do that to him. So I'm just pointing that out there.
TJS.
Pointing that out there. Anyway, everybody has their own, right? But I'm sure it got replayed quite a bit on social media.
The one thing you do got to be careful with women because some people do have implants. So you can hurt people. It's not like us landing it. We might run out of air or get our chest hurt, but there could be a lot worse. We've seen Charlotte had to take some time off because of a rupture. So you do got to be careful with that. But who knows if they didn't go in the back and was like, let's do it like this. Like you're saying, we don't know. It's all speculation. So.
Yeah, maybe.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Maybe she knew that Stevie Richards would do a YouTube video, so she purposely did it, and he would analyze it, and it was all part of a master plan.
And the smack to her face, like, I mean, that would get instant heat. And I highly doubt she's going to come back and, like, do a little paintbrush on Rhea's face without Rhea knowing that was going to happen there. So, I don't know, man. I think they kind of worked everybody with this, but because it's Nia Jax.
I personally found that funny. The slaps I found funny. I freaking laughed. I don't know about you guys.
Ultimately, I bet you Nia's there just to put Rhea over in a one-off feud. Like, so they're, hey, let's screw with the internet fans and make them think I'm back to hurt people. And disrespect people and let me get heat, So anyway,
Triple H does pay attention to the internet.
JJ, I know right now you're thinking, man, if I was just laying down on the ground looking up at the turnbuckle and Nia Jax was ready to come down, you would probably roll out of the way. All right, JJ, what's up?
I would definitely roll out of the way. You're out of line, but you're not wrong for that one, Virtue. But Nia Jax, I'm honestly starting to wonder if the bloodline isn't the whole reason they brought her back. The bloodline's been crumbling here recently. And when something starts to crumble, you got to look to rebuild. And is Nia Jax the first person I would go to? Probably not. But she's somebody that has a history with WWE that they could bring in quickly. Maybe ever since her Rumble Day or return earlier this year, she's been brushing up on her skill, getting the ring rust off so that now that she's back, she could actually be a force to be reckoned with in the proper way and not a hazard to people. I'm not sure, I missed the majority of Nia's big run because I was on my hiatus. By the time I got back into it, she was gone. But I just remember everybody talking about how horrid she is as a worker and how she hurts all these people. It's going to be interesting to see what they try to work with her. And, I've seen some people on the internet say, well, why not give this push that you're going to give to Nia versus Rhea to Piper Niven? She's another bigger, full-figured woman that's a lot safer to work with. And right now, she's just kind of stuck in this limbo being Chelsea Green's tag team partner, even though she never officially won the belts with her, just walked in and claimed a title. why not give that push to Piper Niven, I think, is a question a lot of people are wondering.
That's true. I mean, again, like you pointed out, the relation, there'll be people that would say the nepotism, but like that's WWE and that's what they do. And I'm sure they brought her back probably to discount of what she made before, like probably Braun Strowman and other people. But nonetheless, she's back and people are talking about her, whether it's good or whether it's bad. All right, Aaron, what do you think? And any super chats? I saw one come in at least.
We do have a super chat here from Mr. Tito, and we did touch on this a little bit. Nia returns the same week as The Rock returns. That very well could be the case. This might have been a favor to The Rock, bringing back Nia Jax. Would not shock me if that's the case. It is perplexing to me because I feel like this is something nobody asked for. I haven't seen fans saying, oh man, I really miss Nia Jax. But she's back. It's a whole new era for the women's division in WWE. And she is a body for Rhea Ripley. She's a challenger. And to her credit, she looked to be in pretty good shape. She dropped some weight. Mixed reaction from some people. Stevie Richards uploaded a YouTube video and basically said she was unsafe out there for her comeback. Some people do not want to see her back, but others want to give her a chance and think that there is value in having her around. And Virtue, you might have been right. Maybe it's a one-off thing just to put over Rhea. JJ?
To your point about how nobody asked for this, well, I do agree with you to the most part. I have seen a lot of people, maybe not recently, but, March and April were like, Nia Jax came back in the Rumble. Where the hell did she go?
Yeah, true.
So there was a little bit of grumbling about, why are you going to bring her back for this one-off appearance? And then nothing ever came of her. But for the most part, I do agree with you that this is a return nobody wanted.
And hey, here she is, feuding with the internet's new darling, Rhea Ripley.
Yep. This guy Experience sent in a $2 super chat. He says, as a fan of Nia Jax, I hope she does well this time. Well, there you go. I mean, there are fans of Nia Jax, and we'll see. Give her the benefit of the doubt, that sort of thing. And Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat says, WrestleMania 40, Nia Jax versus Ronda Rousey in a promo battle. That sounds a bit rough to me, but
no psycho, that's a bad psycho.
Well,
please, I'm there in person. Please don't do that.
Imagine what Nia Jax would say. Would she talk about the book of Nia? Would she?
Her whole.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few things she could talk about in a promo battle. Ronda Rousey, not really sure what she could say that would be entertaining, but
have Nia Jax do the Steiner Math promo.
Oh, there you go. There's an idea. MJF did it. Why not? And Psycho Jet Black sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, I'm not like most girls who only take just what they're given, like a plastic little princess. Lucky for me, I'm not like those girls.
Was that the legit lyrics or words?
I never cared enough to look it up, so I think that's...
I only knew the beginning part because that's all you'd hear at the beginning, and then I tuned it out after that. So
yeah,
interesting.
It's like Test's theme song back in the day. Like I just liked the song, but I had no idea what the lyrics were about.
Right?
Yeah.
Dave Scheffler sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, Dave. Says, like Virtue said, and if Judgment Day is feuding with Bloodline, this might make sense. I mean, I don't care if she's part of the Bloodline. I really don't think she needs to be involved in that. Like, let her be an opponent for Rhea Ripley for a couple months until WrestleMania. Like, I think it's safe to say it's going to be Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. And maybe at this show in Australia that's coming up early next year. I'm guessing that's going to be Elimination Chamber. Maybe they got this Australia show.
Maybe their plan is to make Rhea Ripley face despite what Judgment Day is going to be and this could be a way to help start that. I mean, people already like her. The diehards like her. Like, she could easily get cheered. She already does, even though she's with the Judgment Day.
Yeah, I got nothing else really to say about Nia. Psycho did confirm those were the lyrics to the Nia Jax song, so there you go. That's the first I've actually known about the lyrics. First time I've ever actually saw the lyrics or read them.
Well, we'll move
had
on.
Any idea what they were?
Let's move on.
No one cared enough to know.
Right.
Yeah. Let's move on to another female that I thought she just made her return recently to AEW, and now we're hearing that her contract could be up, and there's rumors that she could go to WWE, and that is Jade Cargill. Clearly has the look, especially the WWE look. So what's going to happen here? I mean, could we have, Cody started it off, like, a couple years ago. It's been a year and a half ago, by leaving AEW and going to WWE. We got the CM Punk rumor, but with that, we really got to hold our breath, and we'll talk about it if it happens. But could we see more and more people jumping back over to WWE, especially now that it's TKO, it's like integrated with UFC, maybe the possibilities are different. Yes, Vince McMahon is still there, but Triple H kind of has his talons there now, and we talked about that ever since Triple H kind of got that rollback. People that left that weren't happy with Vince could come back. Now, Jade Cargill would be a fresh body. Would she start clean through NXT so they could get, like Tito and I say, the AEW stank off of her? Or would she just jump right in and be an Impact player on the main roster? I personally think she'd come through NXT, knowing WWE. JJ, I'll start with you on this one. Who's really come right over that didn't go through NXT? AJ Styles? Very, very few. Like, unless they were already an established WWE entity from the past. So what do you think here, Jade Cargill? Is she going to she going to go to Indies, maybe, Impact, NWA? It's just interesting that AEW might have lost another talent.
Yeah, the only established WWE name that I can think of that did come back through the NXT system was Drew McIntyre. When he came back, went through NXT before coming back to the main roster. But this is bigger, I think, than some people want to give it credit for, with the crumble of AEW. And I'm not saying that AEW is on its deathbed or anything like that. Don't misconstrue when I say, what I'm saying. But like, Jade was one of the biggest homegrown stars that Tony Khan had. Mm-hmm. She didn't do time in New Japan. She didn't do time in Impact, didn't do time in WWE. She literally was an AEW homegrown talent. And 508 days, I think, was her TBS title reign. 60-0 before going and losing to Chris Statlander. Like, this is a huge loss for Tony Khan. I know she's supposed to be reporting to the Performance Center on Monday. What I would do if I was in WWE shoes, and obviously none of us here are, so take it with a grain of salt, but I think I would just have her work at the PC. Don't even put her on NXT TV right now. Just let her work out at the PC for a little bit, because everybody's biggest gripe about Jade is how green she is. I would have her make her debut at the Rumble, because that's going to be a huge pop. Maybe let her work a little main roster program through Mania, give her that few months on the main roster, and then ship her to NXT to really get that seasoning that she needs, depending on what, her growth level is during the time at the PC. If by the time we get to Rumble, she's ready for that main roster, then just let her be on the main roster. But I wouldn't throw her in there without at least a little bit of seasoning time, but I don't think she needs to be on NXT TV. I feel like she's going to halt any momentum that some of those other girls are getting on NXT TV. You know, whether it's Tiffany Stratton or Cora Jade or Roxanne Perez, Blair Davenport, Gigi Dolan, JC Jane. Jade comes in there, she's just going to stifle every one of them because she is that top star talent. So you've got to play it correctly. Yeah, she could maybe have a couple of good feuds in NXT with like Roxanne and Gigi, but you've got to give those people the victory, and you don't want to job Jade out just yet. I'm not saying completely reconstruct her 60-0 and like re-Goldberg her, but you don't want to have her come in and just start jobbing either.
See,
Right.
JJ, like, first of all, how thin is the AEW women's division? Like, or you know what I mean? You need every top potential superstar you can get. Up, let's let one go. We can replace her. Sure, you can. NXT's ratings have kind of been slowly growing. I mean, right? So she, like you said, put her in the PC. Don't let her show up in NXT. But WWE might be like, hey, we're building NXT, man. We want to grow this audience to 1 million plus viewers. And what are they, 800 plus thousand? Like, the NXT is slowly growing versus the other show is slowly losing or staying the same, at least.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, yes.
Anything that you want to know about the NXT system, and again, take the PWI 500 for whatever it's worth at a grain of salt. But Carmelo Hayes, their champion, was ranked number 13 out of 500. He was ranked above Bryan Danielson. He was literally sandwiched between Claudio Castagnoli and Samoa Joe. Like, that's everything you need to say about the NXT system right there. Top 20, sandwiched between those two legends, ranked above Bryan Danielson. So NXT is definitely a place to be, but like I said, I think you hold off and debut her in the Rumble. And then again, if you want to ship her down to NXT after Mania, cool, because the draft is always a thing. She could be a free agent and just decide that she wants to dominate the Barbie dolls down in NXT.
And you don't always have to be on NXT, right, JJ? Didn't Braun Strowman kind of skip it?
I wouldn't know. Braun came up in a time when I was on my hiatus.
He was like there at the PC, but he came right into the Wyatt family. I don't remember him doing anything on NXT TV. So, like, it can happen, right? So, Walter, what do you think here? You're big on Jade Cargill, aren't you?
Both of
yes.
us are.
And I think it was very dumb of Tony Khan. If you don't have somebody secured in a contract, why would you put that person on TV and give us a reminder and a refresher of who she is so that she's fresh in everybody's mouths and minds? And now you just drew eyes to the competition because maybe you bring a couple of viewers that was like, who's this lady? Starts looking her up. Then she pops up in NXT or WWE and everybody's like, well, I want to start following her. And now you just drew eyes to the competition. Why would you do that? You don't put somebody on TV that you don't have secured on a contract, but it's more about Jade, not Tony Khan. So I don't want to go off on a rant on his decisions, but I think you go through NXT because WWE is a different style than AEW. And so she's got to get used to it first. You don't want to throw her out there because she's a big name and then throw her into deep water and she kind of flounders because, like JJ said, most people's gripe is that she's green. So you got to get her used to the WWE system. They got a system and it works. Let her learn it and then put her out there. But you got people coming down from the main roster to NXT. So you got people she could have rivalries with. Like, it kind of makes me think that that's why Becky Lynch won the title. Like, if she stays in NXT for a while, you get Becky Lynch versus Jade Cargill. You can sign me up and take my money for that one because I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to her versus Roxanne Perez. They got some people that you can put Jade against, but I say the number one thing telltale sign for me is if they got faith in her is if she gets to keep her name. If she comes over and then they change her name, or you know how WWE does, drops a name, adds a name, change your name. That's era one. If they change her name, then they don't have that much faith in her. Or like you said, the AEW stake's got to get over her. If they let her keep her name, then that shows that they have faith in her as a star and can let her be or do what she's got to do. And That's gonna be the first sign that I look for if she has to change her name or not.
And that's a ring name, I assume, right? I don't know much about her.
Yeah, that's her
personal-
middle and last name. Her real name. Her real name is like Shirley or Shelly. It's something with an S. Is it Sheila or Shaley? JJ.
I'm not sure.
I know her name is Jade Cargill. Like that's her middle and last real name. And then WWE has the biggest marketing machine. Guess who her husband is? A big-time baseball player. If you don't think they have that in the back of their mind and how they can market it and give WWE championships to baseball teams, you got another thing coming. They could put the whole marketing machine behind her. So Tony Khan just lost another big one.
Dude, and it could be a sign of more to come. But I remember when they were kept all going over to AEW. You know, then it stopped, and then it's like, uh-oh, here we go the other way, just like it happened back in the day with WWF and WCW. All right, Aaron, over to you about Jade Cargill. Any super chats come in? Go ahead.
Yeah,
Mo Camera's in the house here.
Yeah, Mo Camera says MJF ain't going to WWE. Keep dreaming. I mean, remember that comment, folks. Just saying.
Yeah, for real.
So Mr. Tito sent in $2. Thank you, Tito. Says Jade to WWE is just the beginning. MJF to follow. I mean, that'll be very interesting. And shout out to John Aaron, who sent in a $5 super chat saying, hi, longtime watcher since the WWF, WCW days. Missed that you don't have spoilers. Hopefully one day could be on. Big AEW fan. Well, I appreciate that, John Aaron, but apparently we all hate AEW now. That's what people on Twitter say and what Mo Camera says. So, I am very positive about AEW most of the time, but this is a pretty big fumble if Jade Cargill goes to WWE. I think that she was one of the few legit homegrown stars that AEW had. And as far as what's going to happen with her, if she goes to WWE, obviously she could go to NXT, and that's probably a good idea. I like JJ's idea of having her show up at the Royal Rumble. The thing is, I think she should show up on a major show first if she's going to do NXT, just because I think you can get that crowd pop and that big moment. Holy crap, Jade Cargill's in WWE. I feel you get the most impact out of that if she shows up at a major show as opposed to NXT. Like, debut her in a big way. And one idea, she could possibly be aligned with Bobby Lashley's group, and she doesn't even have to wrestle much. Like, she could be part of the group and interfere in matches and maybe do a few squash matches here and there and train at the Performance Center while this is going on. Like, just give her a good 6 months of maybe being in a bodyguard type role, maybe like a Chyna, where she's out there and helping out the guys at ringside, and maybe she does a mixed tag team match or does a squash match. Like, you can hide her weaknesses for a while as she's training and learning the WWE style. I like that idea too. I mean, either way, I do think it would be a good idea for her to show up on a major show for her debut, whether it's the Royal Rumble or Bobby Lashley brings her out and she makes a surprise appearance. And you got time. She's 31. You definitely have some time to build her up and give her time to get better in the ring. I mean, that's probably the biggest criticism of her. But she definitely has the star power to make it far in WWE, and she has the size and the look and everything to be a major star. And again, if she indeed is gone, and that's been the strong rumor, Virtue.
Before you, Walter, Mo Camera, let me explain something to you, you jackass.
Whoa.
The reason why we would want AEW talent like MJF to come to WWE, for us that don't like AEW, because Tony Khan sucks as a booker and a promoter. The Young Bucks, the EVPs are in charge. It's a shitty promotion because of that, not because of the talent they have, you jackass. That's why we would want them to go over to the bigger, brighter lights. Okay? All right, Walter, what did you have to say?
Aaron just gave me an idea. Why not? I know I'm going to catch a little flack for that, but Chelsea Green has been getting beat up lately. Why don't have her hire a bodyguard, get some muscle, but you do something, get Piper away from the tag team because she just kind of came out of nowhere and snatched the title. But maybe Chelsea can be a big single star hired muscle like Shawn Michaels did with Diesel, and Jade can be Chelsea Green's muscle. And then you, like you said, you can hire her witnesses. She don't have to do promos or anything. She could just help Chelsea Green and be her muscle for a little while.
Mo Camera, you're a mark, first of all, and you are banned. You are indefinitely banned from the NoDQ review, and that includes anniversary shows or milestone shows. The only way you can come back on is donating at least 25 Canadian dollars.
Wow.
That's cheap.
Whoa.
That's cheap.
Whoa. Whoa. But yeah, Aaron, after you said that, that gave me a good idea. Chelsea Green can use the muscle. And there you go.
Yeah, well.
But yeah, like, we'll see. Jade Cargill. Aaron, anything else you want to add?
Well, I was hoping we would get Mo on to talk with you about this. I think it would make for an interesting NoDQ review.
$25. That's his ticket back.
All
And
right.
in MJF, he's good buddies with Cody. Like the people not know that. So yeah, that creates now. Yeah, we expect MJF to stay in AEW because Tony Khan will open a checkbook for him. But never say never when you have the opportunity to go work with, hey, we're bringing you over here. Triple H. Hey, you and Cody could have a main event match at a future WrestleMania. That speaks quite a bit to people like MJF, whose goal when they became wrestlers was always to headline WrestleMania. Okay. He's already done Wembley. So why wouldn't he want to do the other thing? I'm just saying it's possible, more possible than some people think. And Jade Cargill is another stepping stone by going over that this is all more likely for others, bigger names even, to jump.
It wouldn't shock me if Khan locks MJF now and the bidding war for 24 it would become a storyline. Because if I was in my lockup, I would lock him in now. Like,
I
don't
would.
wait.
Yeah. I mean, if you got to overpay to keep them, so do it, Tony. You got the money. Yes, JJ.
One of the best things that Jade had on her run was the baddies and everything. Walter, what do you think about putting her with Caden and Katana? They ain't doing shit on the main roster.
There you go. They really aren't. That would be nice if 3-woman group. The more factions you do now, then that rumor about that trio title starts to get on my head that it might be true. And I don't want any more titles.
Well, no. I still don't think the trios title thing is a big deal to worry about. That's not going to happen. Yeah. But I mean, like they were saying, you've got her kind of in a managerial role, hiding the weaknesses. Her star power elevates Caden and Katana, makes them actually do something, all the while she's working off her rest and getting better for the main roster hustle.
Yeah, and you elevate 3 for the price of 1. I wouldn't mind that.
Let me just say this about MJF. If he leaves AEW next year after all this time as world champion, that's going to be a terrible look for AEW. Like I really hope that MJF is actually signed with AEW for years, because otherwise it's going to make AEW look so second rate for him to be the champion for so long, and then he actually jumps to WWE.
And we're mostly all in agreement that he's likely to stay there, Aaron, for those reasons. And the bargaining chip he has is to get the most money he can, which probably would be paid for by Tony Khan. So he's doing what he needs to do to set himself up for life. But we never say never in wrestling. Punk came back. Daniel Bryan came back. Edge came back. Right? And the list goes on.
Yeah.
Saraya
Ultimate Warrior got inducted in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. MJF is another topic for another week, though.
And he's so young that works for him so well. It works for him.
Yeah. Jade Cargill, I'm looking forward to seeing what's next for her, and definitely will be a good pickup for WWE if they, in fact, get her, which until it's actually announced that she signed or she appears on TV, I think we need to just wait and see what happens here and not not jump to conclusions. She could still show up at the Performance Center without signing a deal, and then she goes back to AEW. Like, I would not be shocked about it.
But you know what's funny though, Aaron, when you say that? Us, and this goes back last decade, like at least, let's say the last 5 years. Us jumping to conclusions based on just us being fans and our knowledge of what we know is more accurate than the news you put out every day from the dirt sheet writers.
Oh.
So I say let's stick to our gut and talk about that stuff because it happens more often than when they tell you it's going to happen. So that's the beauty of doing shows like this. We want to talk about that. But you're right. MJF deserves main event status stuff, not to be filler before the main event. So he's another topic for another day.
I agree.
But it just shows you how powerful he is that we can bring him up at any given time and he can overwrite any topic because he's MJF. All right, Aaron, are we caught up? We ready for the main event?
Well, Psycho Jet Black has a few more super chats out of his book. He says, imagine WWE having Nia Jax squash Jade Cargill.
No.
I mean, that would be one of the dumbest things they could possibly do, but Psycho Jet Black, he likes to kid. Walter?
Kids.
No, yeah, please keep that away. And I do want to say one thing. WWE, keep Jade away from Charlotte. Do not feed her ass to Charlotte. Don't make the same mistake you did with Asuka. Do not do it.
Unless she faces Charlotte and Charlotte puts her over to build
That's what I mean.
Then it's okay.
Don't feed her. Don't feed her. Don't make her lose. If you're going to put it, make her run through the horsewomen.
Keep her away from Charlotte for at least a couple years. The big money match that I think everyone wants to see is Bianca and Jade.
Yeah. But maybe they actually team together if they join
the Street
Bobby Lashley's group. And that way you could also protect Jade in tag matches if you have her team up with Bianca Belair as heels for a while.
And that's another great way to debut her because I think the plan that they have on the table right now is Bianca versus Charlotte at Mania, conquering the fourth horsewoman, have Jade debut there and help Bianca win. Turning Bianca heel, which a lot of people have been wanting for a minute. And then you've got the two of them aligned. Make a run at the women's tag titles, where again, Bianca can help hide Jade's weaknesses.
Yeah, very true. So Virtue, are we going to be doing the main event here?
Yep.
All right. Well, Mr. Tito has a $5 super chat. Let me read this off to introduce this topic here. He says, yo, NoDQ, The Rock's quotes to Pat McAfee suggest that he wants to do an extensive program with Roman Reigns while WWE wants one and done. Hence, there was no WrestleMania 39 match. So, Virtue, let's go ahead and talk about The Rock.
So, The Rock was on Pat McAfee's show, and that same day, later that night, I think it was the same day, they both show up on SmackDown. Now, Pat McAfee, people love when he shows up. He does college football stuff, so he's really a part-timer. He comes and goes. So it was good to see him. Fans love him. He got a pop. And then as soon as he said the peoples, I felt it. And, The Rock was in town, right, in Denver. People started speculating that day. But there he was, got the huge pop. Rock said it was one of the top 5 pops he ever remembered hearing live as a performer. That speaks volume. And what that moment did. Now, just let me preface this. We see John Cena back in WWE right now. And now Dwayne Johnson made, for now, a one-off appearance. There's a strike in Hollywood with the writers and everything that's going on. And there's just no work being done right now. And it could be over next month. It could go till the middle of next year. But as wrestlers, you can come back and make a payday like John Cena. And The Rock got paid for it. It opens up the possibility. What Big G said was never going to happen. Let's move on from it. Because it didn't happen in Hollywood like we all thought. Now Pandora's box is open again with The Rock's comments on McAfee's show that said it was pretty much all done to do it this year, last Mania, but it didn't. Gentlemen, it's back on the table, and I know Cody Rhodes is that story that makes sense for all of us. I've even agreed. I thought Cody would win it by SummerSlam. Clearly, they're going to wait till WrestleMania. That doesn't have to change. There's dozens of ways they can still get Rock involved with Roman, still get Cody where he needs to be. The Rock, man, he still had it. Electric. I'm going to give props to Austin Theory too. Came out under that pressure, took the beating, delivered his lines, didn't flub. I know everybody would like to see his character tweaked a little bit, but I mean, he's hanging in there with these legends that he gets to work with. Walter, I'm going to start with you. We got to open up the possibility once again for the Bloodline match at some point. What do you think?
Yeah, and what you said about Theory,
you were
could
like,
talk all the crap.
yeah.
You could crap all the things. You could talk crap. All the people could talk as much crap as they want about Theory, but look who they're putting him up against and who they're trusting him to work with. So if you don't think WWE is behind him and pushing him, they would not let him be in with the people he's in. I mean, Rock, Stone Cold. So good for him, man. And he got him with that. It doesn't matter. He got him with that. Like, I love that he did that. And then The Rock turned it around because he's great in my. And I love that he did this. The only issue that I had with what happened is that it was on Fox and they censored the hell out of everything.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that took it down a notch with the whole "you are an asshole" and they kept censoring it. It was like really bad censorship. It's like, come on now. When The Rock, I said this during Aaron's stream, when The Rock is on your screen, whoever's hitting the censor button, get your finger away from the button. You just can't. You can't do that with The Rock. It's The Rock. You can't censor him. Like, it just doesn't make sense. But
and look, like, this isn't about talking about all the possibilities of how does Cody still get his title and we can get Rock and Roman. And for right now, this is just a one-off. Rock was in Denver. SmackDown was in Denver. It made sense. He did a segment with Pat McAfee. That we might not hear anything from The Rock, but we know there's a strike in Hollywood, right? The Rock said that match could have happened. That tells me that it's on the table, right? He would have even brought that up if it wasn't a possibility. There's another thing to consider here, Walter. SmackDown's looking for a new home. They're showcasing SmackDown with the big stars while it's still on Fox. Like, Fox, you don't want us? Well, look, we can get The Rock if we really need to. We got Cena. It's fun to watch, and it's TKO now the first week. Let's get all the stars. I mean, they laid off 100 employees. Now, all of a sudden, you got John Cena. You're paying for him. You know Rock got a big payday for that appearance. It's great seeing a business doing what they need to do to get people to talk with the big stars. And, hey, remember, we still got CM Punk in our back pocket, too. So we got a lot of possibilities. And I think knowing WWE, one of them is going to happen at some point. Anything else you want to add, Walter? And then I'm going to pass it to JJ.
Imagine you talk about that. Imagine you bring Punk back and try to reverse what you did against The Rock after Roman, after everything. What if Rock stays after WrestleMania? And imagine Punk going over Cena and The Rock, and you turn that all around. There's so many ways you can go with this, but yeah, the possibility. Sorry, Big G, but the possibility's back on. Well, I know what you said, but
and it's contingent to the strike. Now, not only was there a Hollywood strike, okay, The Rock kind of was in some turmoil. Like the whole DC Universe thing with Black Adam, it fizzled on him. His show got canceled. Maybe he wants a break from Hollywood. The strike is great, and he wants to go back to his roots in wrestling. To what? At least do that thing with blood. And I'm telling you, it's like this one appearance just all of a sudden puts that in the back pocket as well.
This one appearance made me think, like, I don't know, you guys tell me, at the end, did you not think for a second that it was going to be Cena or The Rock that saved Cena from Austin Theory? It was going to be Waller and Theory beating him up, and then Cena comes save The Rock, and you could have set up that tag team. Like, I thought that because I was like, why is it AJ Styles? Me and JJ talked about last night. Like, why would AJ Styles did that when Rock was there? You could have just, like, imagine that tease. Rock saved Cena, and now it's Waller and Austin Theory against Rock and Cena before you set up the whole bloodline. It would have been, whew. Like, this can go so many places, and I'm so glad that he's back. I'm so glad.
Well, we're still back. It's a one-time appearance. Yeah. But, again, what he talked about, JJ, I'll come over to you. What he talked about on Pat McAfee's podcast, saying, hey, it was this close to happening this year. And then he shows up on WWE TV for a segment with Austin Theory. It's like, and Grayson Waller had been talking about Rock. I'm telling you, man, it seems like there's something that we can grasp onto as a possibility. What do you think, JJ?
I have thought that there was something to grasp onto as a possibility for a while. Even after it didn't happen this year, I'm one of the main ones that Big G would tell to shut up about it, that it's not going to happen. I mean, let's really break this down for a second. The Rock's very first WrestleMania match was against Rikishi as the Sultan, Bloodline. The Rock's first WrestleMania main event against Austin was in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 40 is in Philly. The head of the table, the tribal chief, is still at large, undefeated as far as the championship goes. Let's make some history, gentlemen. It's called fantasy booking for a reason. There are 2 nights of WrestleMania, y'all. You have Cody versus Roman on night 1 for the title. Rock costs Roman the belt. Roman comes out to start night 2, challenges The Rock. You get Rock and Roman for the tribal lay as the main event of night 2.
Judge JJ, I love that. I want to interject here. Don't forget about the failed Royal Rumble win for Roman when in Philly. That
Which was in Philly.
Rock was like, I want to win this crowd over down the road. Okay. And think about it. I don't know if Rock really knew how he'd get like received. And Friday night proved, and anybody that knows The Rock being who he is, he was going to get that pop anyway. That WWE universe still loves him, right? They hear that music.
Absolutely.
And there is, but think about this, back to your fantasy booking. Why not do Rock and Roman night 1 headline night 1? Rock beats him, not for the title. And then Rock and Cody night 2, and then Cody beats Roman after Roman just beat The Rock the day before. Cody, as big as a handoff as you could ever get in the business. But again, that's a million possibilities.
Fair. That's fair.
I want Roman to work 2 nights. That would be epic. First
in
history.
That's a fair assessment, but I feel like number 1, Rocky is a night 2 main eventer. You don't waste him on night 1. And then number 2, if Cody is main eventing night 1, there's the question: can Cody do it this time, or does he fail again, which makes Rock Roman for the title? And then will The Rock be the one to defeat the tribal chief?
Well, okay, so back to your theory.
Because we all know their match doesn't need the title, but if Cody and Roman is on night 1, there's that question.
I think The Rock and Roman, though, would need to be billed for night 2. So going in, Roman already has both main events. Not coming out night 2 and challenging The Rock. You know what I mean? I think both matches should already be in place. And then it's like, holy crap, that would be a dream for us to have a scenario like that.
To be fair, we didn't know Austin was going to actually wrestle on that night. It was just supposed to be a KO show.
Yeah.
That evolved into a match.
Yeah.
So if we know that The Rock is going to be there, then there's that aura.
Speculation, yeah.
And then once he costs Roman the belt on night 1, the challenge gets issued to start night 2.
So when is CM Punk and Seth Rollins going to be? They're going to kick off night 1 or night 2? No.
Maybe. And the other thing to consider, Virtue, you talking about the Hollywood strike. I just read today, I forget where it was, that Batista's thrown his hat in. Now that they're on strike, he's down to come back for another run too. So we could have Cena, Rock, and Batista all back. Probably all on SmackDown, because that's the show right now. I mean, it's the people's show. Cena made his biggest name on SmackDown, and Batista carried that show too after the initial draft when Cena got moved to Raw.
And it's now TKO, and they want to make themselves look like this huge entity. And I expect big things for UFC too. I can see McGregor coming back for another fight. They're going to bring all the stars within this company, especially this first year or two. Because, hey, man, we are worth this $9 or $10 billion. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Or more than that. I don't even know. But anything else you want to add, JJ?
Not that I can think of right now. If something pops in my head, I'll raise my hand like I usually do.
Okay, over to you, Aaron. Mute.
Mute.
Whoops. JJ and Virtue, I think both of you made some great points and had some solid ideas for WrestleMania 40 possibilities. I feel like The Rock is going to be there. I don't think that he would have teased it if it wasn't something that was already pretty much a done deal. Now, the question is, where does Cody Rhodes fit in all this? And I really feel like they should finish the story at WrestleMania 40. But at the same time, I think you need to do Roman Reigns versus The Rock. So, Virtue, we talked about this early this year. We were talking about scenarios, and we discussed possible scenario where Roman Reigns wrestles both nights. And one night he fights The Rock, one night he fights Cody. They could switch it around. One could be Saturday, one could be Sunday, maybe depending on what story they go with. And they probably could go in several different directions with that. And do you get John Cena involved somehow? Do you do a controversial Royal Rumble finish to set up something? But yeah, I would like to see Roman Reigns versus The Rock at WrestleMania. But at the same time, I think Cody needs to finish the story. So they got to figure that out. And maybe they just could not figure it out at the time and they needed to wait on it. But I'm hopeful.
Aaron,
yeah, go ahead.
Is there any way Cody could beat Roman? And I know it's not WrestleMania, before WrestleMania.
Well,
or would that just completely devalue it? And yes, I know we got Saudi Arabia coming up. And remember, do we still have to get that Raw SmackDown over to Raw Superstar over to SmackDown? They haven't announced that yet, have they?
No.
Okay. And then, of course, the Royal Rumble itself would make sense that Roman would have to maybe defend there. I mean, could Cody beat Roman to free up Roman before? And I know then it would be a foregone conclusion. Well, shit, now he's definitely facing The Rock. Or does it have to be WrestleMania for Cody, do you think? That's what I'm saying.
I mean, they could do it at the Elimination Chamber, which, like I said, it looks like it's going to be in Australia this year. They're going to do the February pay-per-view, whether it's Elimination Chamber or not. And, that's going to be 60, 70,000 people. They could do it there, but I'd like to see it at WrestleMania. And they could swerve everybody and maybe have The Rock beat Roman Reigns on night one. And it's The Rock versus Cody Rhodes on night two. And Cody beats The Rock, and The Rock gets one final run as WWE champion. Walter, you don't like that idea?
No. I don't know. It won't have the same effect if you have Cody not do it at WrestleMania. It's like it's WrestleMania.
Well, I'm saying WrestleMania. He beats The Rock on night two of WrestleMania and wins.
Oh yeah, but you said Rock gets a last title shot. I don't want Rock to win
Rock
the title.
Rock beats Roman Reigns at WrestleMania and ends the run, which some people would say it shouldn't be The Rock, but The Rock, proves he's the head of the table, and then he puts over Cody the next night, and Cody wins the WWE title on night two of WrestleMania by beating The Rock.
Does that hold some merit? What Tito said earlier, Aaron, that Rock wanted to do what he did with Cena with Roman, maybe.
Yeah, and Rock said he wants to do something for the future too that's going to be even bigger. I mean, if he put over Cody at WrestleMania, that would be massive.
And then
The Rock would shut up Roman Reigns at the same time.
JJ said it last night. Oh, go ahead, repeat it. If Rock beats Roman, what? Remember what you said? Go ahead and repeat it.
I don't.
If Rock beats Roman, then about the GOAT situation, because he would have beaten Stone Cold.
Jeff said that.
Yeah. Jeff said, yeah.
If Rock beats Roman, then he will have beaten the pillars, if you will, the Mount Rushmore, because he will have defeated Hogan, Rock, Cena, and then Roman.
Oh, you mean Austin?
Yeah.
Rock would have beat Hogan, Austin, Cena.
Yeah.
The pillars of each generation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know some people would not like the idea of Roman's run ending at the hands of The Rock, but if it led to Cody closing out WrestleMania, finishing the story, beating The Rock, that would be massive for Cody's career.
What if, though? See, the possibilities here, man. They keep.
Yeah.
So what if they did have Rock beat Roman? Whether the title was on the line or not. Because Roman, this whole time doing this bloodline angle, the mob boss, and then that opens Roman, when that match is over, Roman and Rock are they're staring at each other, and Roman gets up and they freaking just embrace. I'm not one to have handshakes at the end of matches or hugs, but what if The Rock was to get Roman back to, hey, dude, this is what we do, and the way you did things was wrong, and him beating Roman turn Roman babyface. You know what I mean? That's not a bad thing if they do it right. I want Roman to beat The Rock, to be honest with you, but I just got to.
I was going to say that same thing in reverse. If you have Roman beat The Rock and Rock get on the mic, do what he tried to do in the Royal Rumble in Philadelphia, publicly acknowledge Roman and say, "You are the tribal chief. Your family. You beat me fair and square," and then he puts Roman over. And maybe you shake hands, hug, whatever. You don't have to do that, but publicly acknowledge him. And then Roman can say, "Look, that's all I ever wanted was people in my family to acknowledge me." And then you set him off on that big baby face run as the tribal chief, as a face. And Vince McMahon finally gets what he wanted, that big Roman run with everybody wanting it. So you could do it that way if The Rock would just acknowledge it.
I like it. Aaron?
Yeah, I still think Roman's got to go down, though. I think somebody's got to beat him, and he's got to take the big loss and be humbled before he goes babyface. But that's just my opinion on that. We do have a lot of super chats, so let's get to those. A lot of different opinions on this. Psycho Jet Black sent in $5. He says, "I want to congratulate Roman Reigns for pinning Dwayne Johnson at WrestleMania 40 and retaining the WWE Universal title. If you're a Cody Rhodes fan, ... Virtue, if that happens, I think Roman is going to beat Hogan's 1984 to 1988 title reign. What do you think?
If Roman gets through WrestleMania 40 as still champion, there is no end in sight.
Yeah,
they are just thinking, man, let's just get as far as we can go. And Roman's happy. He's got his part-time schedule. We got the other title belt, and Seth Rollins is #1 wrestler in the world. People making those fans happy. They're in a good spot, to be honest with you.
Oh, man. Imagine the reaction from people if Roman Reigns somehow got out of WrestleMania 40 as champion. Walter?
I didn't think he'd get past SummerSlam.
If you do that, you might as well go all the way and beat Bruno's record. You might as well do it. Why not? You already went that far.
Now, when I say I didn't think he'd get past SummerSlam, not when I knew he was wrestling Jey Uso, when I thought Cody would get a rematch at SummerSlam, right after Mania. So here we are, right? And we're thinking, shoot, it's definitely going to be WrestleMania 40 the next time he's got any chance of losing. That's where we are.
Here's a scenario that I think is unlikely. Attitude Era Mark says Ava gets called up and turns on The Rock, his daughter. Yeah, and I don't think that's going to happen. By the way, go Niners. That's a football team, right?
Yeah. San Francisco 49ers.
I actually did go to a Niners game. I know who they are. Believe it or not. But yeah, I don't see The Rock's daughter getting involved in this storyline. I think she'll be in NXT for a while. Just my gut feeling.
I mean, it would be an interesting twist because she's said in interviews that her and her dad didn't have the greatest relationship growing up because he was always gone. So it could be, basically the Dominic storyline, but a little bit more legit because we know Ray was always there bringing Dom and doing stuff with Dom, but Rocky really was absent for a lot of her life. So it could be that spoiled, where were you when I needed you type of thing.
Yeah.
WWE likes to rehash stuff, but I feel like the emotion would be more realistic this time.
Yeah, I just feel like maybe she's too green, maybe, to be in that kind of position.
Fair.
Yeah, I don't think she's ready for that spotlight. Plus, where would you go with it? One's a woman, one's a man. You can't have a match. So, where do you? At least with Ray and Dom, you could have that match.
Unless
blow it up. Where would you go?
She joins the bloodline and she's with Roman. She sides with Roman Reigns. And that would be like the daughter betraying
low blows her father
and sides with Roman. They could do that. I mean, they could. Yeah. It's a possibility.
Have her put her one in the air, just acknowledge him in the middle of the WrestleMania reign.
Oh, man. That would be something for sure. That would get some heat, I think.
But see, leave it to WWE. There's always these possibilities we talk about because they always leave the doors open or just and that's why they're the way they are.
I hate to knock AEW, but how many storylines have they done where we can talk about 5 or 6 different scenarios?
Yeah, and the thing is, WWE gives us enough over the years of, well, remember we talked about that and it happened, to where we can talk about these speculations when somebody like The Rock's involved, and we can believe that it could happen.
I mean, I feel like the only AEW storyline where there's some possibilities is maybe the MJF and Adam Cole storyline, but that's
I was
about
just
it.
gonna say that. That's it. That's basically it. Yeah.
Like Kenny Omega and Takeshita, what are the possibilities of it? Like, I mean, there's nothing. Don Callis, I mean, Kenny Omega is going to eventually get revenge on him, I guess, you know. But they don't really have any real interesting stories that have a lot of different layers and possibilities of where it can go, and that's a big problem. And you know, I'm not trying to sound like a hater. I would like to see them have more interesting stories that will get us talking and give us a reason to tune in and want to see how it plays out. And you know, they don't really have too much going for them right now, unfortunately.
I guess if you do the Jericho and why am I drawing a blank?
Guevara. I don't care though.
Guevara, I guess I was just gonna say, but the problem is don't care about it.
I mean, I have no interest in whatever happens to those guys.
But if Jericho showed back up in WWE, we'd be like, oh yeah, what's gonna happen?
People would say, "Oh, see, you're an idiot because you just want to see Jericho in WWE." I like Jericho in AEW. I just want to see him utilized better, and I want to see a more intriguing story with him.
Yeah, remember I put over that first year when he was a champion, and
yeah,
and Tony Khan got involved, and I was like, oh.
And Mr. Tito sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you, Tito. Says, props to Pat McAfee for getting answers out of The Rock. Pat's great. Like that interview that he did with Vince before Vince retired, like that was pretty entertaining. I think Pat is just such a likable guy that he can make the people he interviews feel comfortable, and he'll be able to get some answers out of them. Walter?
Yeah, I was gonna add to it because look what he did to Brock Lesnar. He got Brock Lesnar to start imitating Austin. Like when do you see that side of Brock? He started imitating Austin and everything on that show. He does. He can bring the best out of somebody.
And to prove that from the sports perspective, Walter, he's interviewed Aaron Rodgers a couple times who don't open up much, and he got Aaron Rodgers to talk twice. Quarterback that got hurt recently on the Jets.
He's a people person. He knows how to interact with people and make them feel comfortable. I mean, great talent. Very talented guy is Pat McAfee.
So where are we at, Aaron? Anything else from you? Yes. Any other super chats?
We do have some super chats. The Rock's jockstrap. I'm not sure what he means by this. Walter, he says the jabroni in the lower right said didn't miss Rock last week. What is he saying?
Mm-hmm.
You're the jabroni in the lower right.
I missed the Rock. I don't know what he means by that. I love the Rock.
Big G said that. So maybe somebody's mistaken you for Big G. Remember Big G would say he's ready to move on from The Rock and he doesn't.
Yeah, that might have been. You might be mistaken me for Big G.
I mean, Walter, tell him, prove it. Tell him to clip it and show it to you on the internet, on Twitter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I never said I don't miss The Rock. I love The Rock.
Psycho Jet Black sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you, Psycho. Says, if Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns is not happening at WrestleMania, Cody can always face Mustafa Ali, Baron Corbin, Von Wagner, Karrion Kross, Top Dollar, and Bart Gunn. They can have a battle royal.
No psycho that's a bad psycho.
The possibilities are endless. By the way, what happened to Mo Camera?
You banned him. By the way, he did.
Not from the chat room.
Apparently, he got booted from the chat. That's what he's telling me. He said, so it's okay for Virtue to call me a jackass and a dumbass and then put me on timeout and ban me from the NoDQ.
First of all, I'm not doing any of the chat stuff. So if somebody did that to him, congratulations to that person that did it, but it wasn't me.
And he said, shaking my head, not cool. You should check your boy. That was from Mo Camera.
You're a mark, Mo. Jeez. You're still watching even though you're not in the chat. I don't know who banned him for that. When I said ban him, I meant on the show, not the chat.
Well, I hope you'll change your mind because I would like to have you guys.
I mean, he's got $25 in his wallet, so he can change his mind.
All right. What about an apology video?
Maybe. He has to be really creative with it.
All right.
He has to pop me. Yeah.
All right. Building Nexus sent in a $5 super chat. Says, if the match happens, have Cody Rhodes beat Roman Reigns at the Rumble Rock can get involved and even the odds before Cody wins clean because Roman ruined his family. And Virtue, we talked about it possibly happening before WrestleMania. What if The Rock is the reason Roman loses the title to Cody to set up WrestleMania? They could do it at the Rumble in Tampa. They're going to be in the big stadium, or they could do it in Australia. And, that sets up Rock versus Roman Reigns without the title. And all along, I said it doesn't need to be for the title. Like, it could just be about who's the real tribal chief. Walter?
The only way I want to see Cody win that title ahead of time, to be honest, is if you bring him back CM Punk and then that he's fighting Cody at WrestleMania.
Ooh.
That's the only way I would want Cody to win that title prior to WrestleMania.
That would be interesting.
Look
Cody
at that.
Rhodes
The
versus
possibilities
CM Punk.
are endless.
Night one WrestleMania main event. CM Punk gets his WrestleMania main event, as we were talking about last week. But I'll believe CM Punk is back in WWE when I see it. I still have my doubts, even though he's throwing.
He's having fun with it, Aaron. Though on that little thing he's an announcer for, that little fighting gig thing he does, he's having fun with it. Remember, he's like, "I'm free for the next 2 months."
Yeah, I mean, it could just be trolling on his part. So we'll have to.
That's what I'm saying, though. He's at least gonna have fun with it, whether he's gonna do it or not.
Yeah,
it's always gonna get people to keep talking about him.
He's a master of it. This guy Experience sent in a $2 super chat, says, should The Rock enter the Royal Rumble and will Gunther be the world champion? I would be shocked if The Rock does anything more than like one match. Yeah. Like, it would be cool if he did more than one, but I would not get my hopes up on that. And maybe Gunther might be in the world title hunt by early 2024, depending on when he loses that IC title. We'll see. Mr. Anderson sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you, Mr. Anderson. Says, have Rikishi run over, what is he, Psycho Jet Black now? Have Rikishi run over Roman Reigns and comes out and says he did it for the bloodline and the true tribal chief, The Rock. That was like something Psycho Jet Black would super chat. Jeez, he's rubbing off on other people now. Thanks,
Maybe
Mr.
it's the same
Anderson.
guy.
It might be the same guy. Burner account. And Building Nexus sent in a $2 super chat, says, then Cody defends against John Cena. There's another idea. If there's no CM Punk, what about that? Cody Rhodes defends the title at WrestleMania against John Cena, and Cena's trying to go for that record-breaking 17th world title victory.
There you go.
Why not?
Yeah, there's an idea. Roman Reigns versus The Rock, and Cody Rhodes versus John Cena for the WWE title as the two main events of WrestleMania. That'd be pretty big. I'm curious. They got a lot of star power right now, and there's a lot of different ways this can go. But I would like to see Cody get the title at least by WrestleMania, if not sooner. So we'll see what happens. Definitely an intriguing time. Walter?
I just want to ask you, all three of you, like, after all that with Cody and he wins, how long of a run would you give him? Because I feel like that title has been held captive for so long that do you really want to see another long run?
6 months at least. Let him fight Cena. Maybe have a match with CM Punk. Maybe Solo Sikoa. You can get through a couple guys. Give him a good 6-month reign, I think.
See, that's the problem. Is I feel like what they've done with Roman in the title is going to kind of cheapen whoever wins it next, because if they have a 3-month, a 6-month reign, it's going to be like, well, yeah, okay, you finished the story, but you couldn't live up to the previous champion.
Yeah.
Nobody. Think about it. Though.
I was going to say nobody should surpass Roman, but I feel like he's had it so long that if somebody doesn't at least have it for a year, it's going to be like a waste of a title change at this point.
Yeah, well, I think he's got to have some successful defenses at least, like in a short period of time, be a fighting champion type of deal. And maybe Gunther is a possibility. We'll see. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. He says, have Rift Aronson cost Roman Reigns the title against Dwayne Johnson?
No.
Not even going to say anything further on that. Please don't mention Rift Aronson again. And speaking of please don't mention names again, Attitude Era Mark says, yo, what happened to Bruce Blitz? I don't even know who that is. And Noah Donish. Don't know. Haven't talked to.
Who are? I don't even know who they are.
I haven't. I've never talked to Bruce Blitz. I'm not even sure who that is, and haven't talked to Noah Donish in years. So
yeah, I don't even know.
No more mentioning those names, especially Riff Aronson. Please, no more. But thank you guys for the super chat, and yeah, great show tonight, Virtue.
Great show. Let's go around and do our plugs. JJ, 2 weeks in a row for you, huh? Was it last week you were on? Man,
Yeah.
You're becoming a regular, Mr. Reliable number 2. Go ahead, do your plug.
Well, you can check me out on the social medias on YouTube, Casa D18 Studios, Instagram, the Renegade JJ Williams, Twitter or X, ROWJJ Williams. My primary focus is movie reviews. I've been doing back to school month all month. So movies that take place in and around school settings. Check me out on the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiversa Media, every Saturday for basically our version of the review, open mic night. Watch alongs coming up this week. We've got 3 of them. We're going to be doing Grand Slam Dynamite, Grand Slam Rampage, and night 2 of Impact 1000. There's lots of stuff coming across my channel there, Casa D18 Studios on YouTube, and the rest of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiversa Media.
Looks like we found Mo Camera's alter handle there. All right. Thank you, JJ, for being on. Over
Thank you for having me.
Walter.
Thanks for having me again. Always Mr. Reliable here. Follow me on the X at Walter Alex Cruz. I have the Rage of Wrestling YouTube, and I also have the Instagram at Cal Fire Farms.
That was nice, short and sweet. All right.
Yeah.
Over to you, Aaron.
Just stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest. And yeah, Virtue, your hater showed up conveniently right after Mo Camera disappeared.
Or we mentioned that one guy's name. Somebody mentioned that one guy's name that you said don't mention. I'm telling you, man, I got a handful of people that could be. They love me. They really love me.
They do love you. So yeah, just stay tuned to NoDQ.com. It's been a busy few weeks and could get even busier as we get into the end of the year. We got Survivor Series in Chicago coming up.
Yeah.
We got Fastlane, which might not be a big deal, but we do have Survivor Series.
All right. Follow me on x.com if you dare it's at NoDQ_Virtue. And maybe that will be another thing for next year. We'll see with the Cody Rhodes. Go to NoDQ.com/merch. Also, check out all the merch over there. But this has been the NoDQ review number 253 for Walter Cruz, JJ Williams, and Aaron Rift, and the whole NoDQ Galaxy and crew, even the ones that weren't here. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.